I'm Anil Kumar sharing with you a very difficult question on trigonometry. I've made it multiple choice question so that you can at least get a clue of the answer. The question is, find the angle theta in the triangle given below. So here's a triangle with two sides given, 1 and 2, and angle theta is the angle which is opposite to the side having length of 2 units. We have 4 different choices here. I'd like you to pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. Now, since we are only given 2 sides, we cannot actually apply sine law or cosine law, which we have learned to solve such questions. So what should we do? That makes this question unique, correct? So we'll actually apply a strategy to solve this particular question, and the strategy is we are going to extend this line. See, we have to think outside the box to solve such questions. We are going to extend this line. So I'm just extending this line, and from the vertex of the other point, I'll actually draw a line whose length is square root 2. So let's say I draw a line which is kind of like this, whose length is square root 2. Correct? So if this length is square root 2 and that is 2, then what is going to be the base? So I've taken that length as square root 2. So let's see how much should the base be. That is, what is this length? Now, if I make this square root 2 and I make an isosceles triangle actually, where this is also square root 2, do I make a triangle? I do make a right triangle. You will notice that. So what you'll notice is that if I make it doesn't look like that, I mean, what I'm trying to say here is that the figure, this seems to be much smaller than that because it is not to the scale, right? But what you realize here is that if I have an isosceles triangle with 2 sides as square root 2 and the third side is 2, that means it is a right angle triangle, correct? So this indeed is a right angle triangle where 2 sides are square root 2, and that becomes the hypotenuse of 2. Perfect. So now I think we can solve this. So if that is the case, we can find this angle. How? Now let's call this angle as alpha. Then the side which is right there is going to be, that is, this side is going to be how much? This side is going to be square root 2 minus 1, right? Square root 2 minus 1 is going to be that side. We can say, what is tan alpha? Tan alpha is equals to opposite side of square root 2 divided by the base, which is square root 2 minus 1, right? So let's find this. Square root 2 divided by, within brackets, square root 2 minus 1 is equal to, let's write it in decimals, is 3.4142, right? We need to find angle alpha. Let's find alpha, which is going to be tan inverse of this angle. I mean, angle will be tan inverse of 3.4142, right? So let's do it. So we already have the number here. Shift tan inverse of the answer gives us 73.675. So let me approximate this to 73.7 degrees, correct? Now that angle alpha is equal to 73.7. So theta is going to be, it's a linear angle. So theta is going to be 180 degrees minus 73.7 degrees, which is, let's do it, 180 minus 73.7 gives us in decimals 106.3 degrees, correct? So that is the right answer. The very first one, A, is the right answer. Now, I'd like you to note this strategy. It is a very beautiful strategy to solve triangles by extending them as we did here, right? So use your knowledge of special triangles at times to solve such questions if you get them in test. So that is a very high level question. I hope you understand and appreciate it. Feel free to write your comments and your suggestions. Thanks for watching. All the best.